Hi guys, good morning. Mayde Gomez here, weekend morning anchor and weekday reporter, and I want to introduce Mike Duffy. He is new to the team. He's going to be my co-anchor on the weekend mornings, and you're also going to be reporting on during the week.
That's right. Yeah, you and me have a couple days that overlap during the week.
That's right.
And then,
that's right.
Yeah, then we're the dynamic duo on the weekend now.
So we're here super early on the weekends.
Try like waking up before 2 a.m. To get.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So I want to introduce you to our awesome viewers, and I want everybody to get to know you. And I'm pretty sure people are going to have a lot of questions because I have my own questions. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you come from? Yeah, where have you been? Who have you worked for? Your social security number, your bank account.
I'll give you
I need
all
it all.
that. So I'm from Chicago, originally the Burbs. If you're from Chicago, you try not to say the city if you're not actually from the city. I don't know if you have that elsewhere, but Dallas. You're from Dallas, right?
I'm from Dallas originally, but it's like the Dallas metro.
If you're from Dallas,
area.
you're from Dallas. Yeah. No, unless you're from the city of Chicago, you don't say Chicago. So I'm from the Burbs of Chicago, and then I went to school in Wisconsin. So I've got that Midwest pride.
Sure do.
Great people. Cold right now, so don't necessarily want to be there. And then after that, I was in New York for a while, and then I was in Atlanta. And then finally I was in Oregon before here, so.
Neat,
yeah,
okay.
It's a little journey.
Yeah. So from coast to coast, basically. New
Yeah,
York
there's so much to see, you know?
True.
And every city is so different, but I love being in California. I've always wanted to be a Californian, and I kind of like to be able to say that.
And now you are.
Yeah.
And one very interesting thing about you, Mike, is that you used to work for none other than
Nancy Grace.
Nancy Grace. Yeah. How awesome is that?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was my first real job in television, and kind of worked my way up through the ranks. I was a producer there, and they started putting me on TV every once in a while to talk about what was going on in court, so I got to see some really big trials that way. And Nancy was a huge inspiration, I guess, in terms of making that jump and switching to this side of the camera. So now we are on this side.
A lot of good legal advice, I would imagine, and a lot of interesting cases.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. Although doing crime all the time can get a little bit wearing. It's kind of heavy after a period of time, so it's nice to be able to mix it up. Like, I really enjoy doing a puppy segment like we get to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Just to lighten it up a little.
Of course, because as everybody knows, like the morning shows usually are a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
We introduce, as you mentioned, we have a dog segment, the pet of the week. We also do live interviews with chefs. We had a farm girl chef today.
Yeah, she was great.
She was great, and so we do a lot of fun stuff. So that's maybe some of the things that later on shows don't get to do because it's more serious and it's more news.
And I think we are going to have a lot of fun in the morning, in particular. So, yeah.
We are definitely going to try to have a lot of fun because that's what it's all about. It's about waking people up, and it's about having a positive, good attitude.
Yep.
And of course, being informed going into the weekend.
Give you some good news stories. Give you some lighthearted animals.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, we got some cool interviews coming next week. So and tomorrow. So we've got a lot lined up, and it just sounds like one thing after another. And of course, if anybody has ideas or guest segments, or you guys want to tell us about what's going on,
absolutely,
we love ideas.
We will take ideas because that's a lot of times how we get our news story, and some of the biggest stories come from our community letting us know what's happening. For sure. I'm
gonna just adjust this. It's getting a little droopy over here.
Is it? Oh, yikes!
It's all right. It'll get back. Perfect.
Oh, there we go. There we go. And then how do we? Because on this one, it's not showing any of the questions.
Yeah, well,
just in case folks have any questions for Mike.
Hi to everybody who's joining over there, but everyone over here too. Sorry, we got two cameras.
We have two cameras going on simultaneously.
Yeah.
You've been with us for what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Today was the
first anchoring.
Yeah, and I had I reported this past week as well, working on another story about a wrongful death lawsuit, and it was a really profound story. So I was really happy that I got to spend some time on that, and hopefully that's kind of how we're gonna keep it going into the future. But it's really fun here. They have allowed me the opportunity to kind of creatively work as a reporter, which I really appreciate.
Absolutely. And, especially with ABC10, we're digital first. So we try to do everything digitally first, as you can see, because we do understand. And I think this company really understands that everything is digital now. A lot of people don't wait, until later on in the day to actually get their news. Everybody's getting their news on the spot as it's happening, on their phones.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely a push that we're doing here with the company. So a little bit different.
Were you out at all, by the way, this week? It was really rainy. Did you go out on any stories when it was like downpouring?
Definitely
rough week.
It's definitely been a rough week, especially with all the rain and the mudslides and the flooding and everything that's been going on. I know Harry has been reporting on it all week. We've had all of us, I think every reporter, we've all been on some type of, flooding story, something like that. So.
The water level, if you see the river right now, it's frightening. It doesn't have much further to go before it's at the top, right? So definitely keeping an eye on it.
A very serious situation, and like they always say, just make sure to stay safe. Don't go through, something that may look like there's some water, some flooding, and it looks okay to drive through it. Just stop, turn around. It's better to be safe than sorry.
And I learned a little fact that I didn't know about before I came here. So Sacramento is the second most flood-prone city in the entire country after New Orleans. I wouldn't have expected that.
That's what I've
Who
heard
thinks
as well.
of Sacramento as this flood-prone place? But it is.
I think it's mainly because from the way I've been described, Sacramento is kind of like a fishbowl. So that's kind of where these problems have come from in the past. I know there's definitely been a lot of flooding. We're in a very flood-prone area.
Have you been flooded at all in your apartment, or have you seen water?
You know what? Yesterday, did you guys catch some of the hail that we received here in Sacramento yesterday? I know I was actually off yesterday, and I was at home, and all of a sudden I started hearing it. So first thing I did as a reporter is run outside with my camera, and I started shooting it, and I was just in awe.
You were off and you were working. Yeah.
Well, yes, but the news never sleeps.
That's right.
But also, it was so interesting how weather works, because 1 second it's like pouring, and then a minute later it's like clear.
Right.
Clear, like
Completely.
the sun starts coming out.
Completely.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, we had a drain clogged right in the front of our place, and it was just a river through T Street, right? In
Yes.
Sacramento. And
That's true.
apparently that was a thing all over town. Like, a lot of people's drains had been clogged with branches and things like that, so they were going around declogging them. But until that point in time, the cars looked like they were going to float away.
One other thing about Sacramento is that, or Northern California, I used to always hear, but there's so many stories that, are from happening in Southern California, Los Angeles, and all of those areas. Yes, but some of the biggest stories in the nation come from Sacramento.
Yep.
We're talking about, some of the most dangerous, important stories that the nation has reported on here, like, the devastating wildfires that occurred a few months ago. The Golden State Killer, that also, those are all stories that happened here.
Right, Stephon Clark.
Stephon Clark was another big story, and we're still waiting to hear more on that. So some of the biggest stories are coming out of Sacramento.
Yeah, well, it's a great place to be right now. I'm very happy to be here, and I look forward to interacting with everyone. Thank you
I know.
very much.
We're very excited to have you. And let's see. I know Timothy is saying the rain is not over, more is coming.
That's
true. That's very true. I know there's a break from what Harry, our meteorologist, was saying. There's a short break,
Right.
but then of course we're expecting more downpours.
It looks like a couple days left of pretty rainy, stormy weather, and then I saw a bunch of suns, so I guess that means that we're in the clear after a few days.
That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing.
No doubt about it. But yeah, and up in the mountains, it looks like the dead of winter. Roads were closed.
Yes.
Cars are moving extremely slow, so.
That's right. By the way, have you seen that image that NASA put out, that satellite image of California a few weeks back, and California right now?
No.
And you can just see this blanket of snow. It's pretty impressive.
Wow.
I'll have to show it to you for
Yeah,
sure.
okay, yeah. Well, I guess, are we out of the drought now? Are we technically on the verge of it? California has not had enough water for a number of years now, so I wonder if this is making a big difference.
You know what, from what Harry was saying, and I'm not a meteorologist, but I remember Harry was talking about, yes, that this is absolutely obviously helping us with the drought. So
Right.
I don't want to say, but I mean, we can definitely ask him later on if
Yeah.
we're out of that drought.
I know the water levels were like about the average that we should be getting. So.
Right. And also, so you aren't the only member of the team, new member of the team.
Oh, that's right.
We will also be having another member of the team join us next week. She's actually in training today and tomorrow. So she is here, but you will be able to catch her next weekend
Yep.
on camera. So very excited to have her here. So it's like everybody's new.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So
We're
we're gonna have a
new
great time.
team.
Yeah, and if there is anything that you can tell me, by all means, give me all the advice in the world because you're the professional here. Just learn the ropes.
The only thing I know is that Sacramento folks are awesome. They're so welcoming. I was also a transplant to this area, so when I got here like 9 months ago, I believe at this point, people were so welcoming. Going out, doing stories, people helped you out. Being on Facebook and talking, interacting with folks that would tell me about story ideas and just advice, really, because I also didn't know the areas, and advice from stories to even the restaurants to go check out. I mean, everything. It was pretty
That's
awesome.
the kind of advice you need. It's immeasurable. So
Absolutely. Well, again, so glad to have you.
Thank
So
you.
glad
Great
to be
to be
part of the
here.
team. You're going to be my new, what would we call it?
sidekick,
Work husband?
Robin to your Batman.
One of those. We'll figure one of those out, right?
I like it. All right.
Awesome.
Well, thanks everybody who tuned in. Craig, hello. Never mind. Can't read that one.
Can't read that one.
I'll say
Yikes.
goodbye over here too. Bye everybody.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.